Hi guys, I'm Byron and welcome to Byron Bytes. Today we will be looking at a city builder called Dystopika. This is from a solo dev called Matt Marshall under the developer label Voids Within. The game describes itself as a chill cyberpunk city building game. It's probably a little different to the other city building games you might have come across. So there are no citizens, no budgets or zoning to manage. You just place and adapt buildings and use a tool called the light brush to bring the world to life. Inspiration has been taken from the dev's travels through Asia and films like Blade Runner and Ghost in the Shell. So it's got a real sort of dystopian cyberpunk aesthetic to the game. So with that said, let's take our first look. This is a tiny game about future cities, created over the course of a single year of travel across Japan, Thailand, Indonesia and Vietnam, and inspired by late nights wandering vast cities. There is no management, no goals, no stress, only dark, cozy vibes. This was a labour of love. Thank you for playing, Matt. So there's a little message from the developer himself. Start playing. Okay, so we start out with what looks like a completely blank city and what looks like the option to place a building. See if we can interface scale. There we go. That's better, that'll make it a bit more readable for you guys. Okay, so we've got pan the camera, it's middle mouse button. We've got rotate is right mouse button. Build a tile is left mouse button. And change a tile is click on the building and right mouse button. Okay. So we can change our building, the type of building that we're going to build with the left mouse. Let's see, what do we fancy for a first building? That looks like it could be impressive. Let's give that one a go. Okay, so we've got the option to rotate by clicking on this middle ring and make bigger. Okay, we've unlocked some sort of hover vehicle lane, I suppose. So I'm guessing with certain buildings you unlock certain things as you move through and create your city. So let's place one of these. Okay, with this one we've unlocked like a hoverport. Yeah, so we'll have vehicles taking off from there. So it's all adding little bits of life to your city. And we've unlocked some neon signage as well. Okay, so I think for my city, like most cities probably, we'll have a nice built up area in the middle and then thin out the buildings as we move out. Got some more neon unlocked. I've just placed that one by accident, but you've got a full undo and redo. So if you ever make a mistake or do things that you're not really happy with, you've always got the option to change it. So at the bottom, you can click to move the buildings around as well after they're already placed, as well as the rotate. Also increase in scale. I've just done it again. Just undo. That's a nice looking one. Okay, this one. Oh, we've unlocked a hologram. In real Blade Runner vibes, that opening sequence of Blade Runner where you sort of pan over the city. It's clear that was one of the inspirations for the game. There's a lot of Blade Runner elements here. So we can zoom in and out of our scroll wheel. You can see as I'm placing buildings that the sort of smaller buildings around are automatically being generated, so there's like a procedural generation so that you don't have to place everything individually, which is quite nice. It's not quite so micromanagement-y. I don't want that building there. Let's try a different building. Some more neon unlocked. We'll talk a bit more about light in a minute once I've built up a bit more of a city, because there's a tool called the light brush, which I mentioned earlier, which should bring some life into the game a bit more. So at the moment you've got some sort of neons on the buildings, but it's pretty dark, it's pretty dingy. You can do something about that. So for the time being, I'm just going to place some buildings down. I'm not really giving a great deal of thought to where I put them. Oh wow. Again, big Blade Runner vibes. Yes, I'm not giving a massive amount of thought as to where I put these, other than that I want big buildings in the middle and smaller buildings moving towards the outside. But you could spend as much or as little time as you want thinking about layout. Could make everything symmetrical, or you can do what I'm doing and just plop things down as you see fit. And that's one of the joys of this kind of style of game. It's not, you can think about it as much as you want to. You could put this on and put a lot of thought into how you're gonna place buildings and group them and put them in districts if you wanted to, or you can sit down, switch off, and make something beautiful either way. And you can see, just about see, there was a red line around the outside there. And that's going to be our, there you go, there's our city limits. So I suspect that's the square that we've got the ability to build into. So you can see we've got quite a built up middle section now, so let's try and build up around the outsides a bit more. Locked a chimney of some sort. The flying advertisement vehicle. Again, very, very Blade Runner. We've already got one of those right there. Let's try one of these. For a medium-sized one. We've got a big company logo. The music's very Blade Runner as well. Definitely tell a lot of Blade Runner influence here. And why not? There's certainly worse things to be influenced by. So we're slowly building up our city here. We seem to be unlocking access to different buildings as we work our way through, like this. What are these? Just look like pretty lights. That's fine. Let's put that one here and see what it looks like. That's one of those, okay. Another one of these, we'll put it right on the edge. hologram unlocked. So obviously I'm placing these quite quickly for the sake of the pacing of the video, but you can take as much time as you want. You can see quite quickly you can come up with something that looks pretty spectacular. And it's going to get even more spectacular in a minute as we break out the light brush. Alright, so we've about filled up our city square with no particular care at all, and now we're going to try out the light brush. So, light brush tool's over here, and you've got an add or remove, and you simply sweep it over the area and you'll start to see more life. You can see it sort of highlights a lot of the features on the buildings, adds lighting, screen effects, neons. It just really helps bring everything to life. And again, I'm just going over everything here. You can choose to have sections of your city lit and unlit. It's entirely up to you. And you can see what a difference that makes, just adding that little bit of light. Makes it really look like a living space. And I mean, at the moment we've been looking at it from quite a distance away, but you've got the option to really zoom in and have a look, especially in these areas with the holograms. Just see how detailed the work is. And I think whilst a big part of the fun is definitely building the buildings and making the city silhouette or skyline look the way you want, there's also a big part of this that's going to be taking photos of the end result. So if you want to go back to the building tool, it's this tool at the top. But let's have a look at some of the other things we've got. So we've got a destroy tool. So you can select your buildings, and if there's one that you didn't particularly like the look of, you can get rid of it and make something else there. Got your undo tool and redo, which we've covered. You've got your save city. And then we are down to the city settings and general settings of the game. So you can change your music, you can change your time of day, you can see the effects that has on the lighting of the city. I prefer night because I think all of the lights pop. And then you can have clear weather, rain, heavy rain, different types of fog. I think for me, I prefer it clear because you just get such a beautiful view of everything. And then you've got the camera mode. So camera settings, you've got a lot to play with. You've got pitch and roll, you've got height, field of vision, and you can play with things like exposure. You really want to blow out all of the neon. So if we bump the exposure, and you can see you've got the ability to take some beautiful sort of screenshots and photos of what you make. So we'll reset that exposure. You've also got things like lens, dirt. You can sort of see over here. If we turn the exposure up, you can probably see it a bit more. Yes, you can see this sort of streaking. Sort of see that effect when you move around. Sort of glass scratches, which is quite a nice effect depending on what you're going for. There's also environments, so you can add fog. change the height and intensity so you can have it low lying everywhere should you choose to. Also got a fog versus sun setting, sun intensity, which you can see brings out those scratches on the lens that we added earlier. You've got sun color, and that playing with sun saturation. You've got time of day, which can really make quite a big difference to the way it looks, and also sun direction. You want shadows to fall a certain way. And you've got rain intensity, so you can put this all the way up to 100. Press play. And then you can move around your city with your chosen environment settings. These are more to do with lights, so let's find a good spot to show you. So you've got light streaks. Change the threshold, you'll see the difference a bit better. So if we put the light streaks threshold right down, see what sort of an effect you get. Change intensity to make it a bit easier on the eye, or the effect that you want. You've got glow intensity, will really start blowing out the neons, give you an almost overexposed look. Glow scatter, which is almost like a diffusion type effect to spread the light out completely. And then you've got glow threshold, which can completely blow it out, as you can see. Or we've also got various filters, so if we reset, and we've got Neptune, which is quite a dark, Europa, which gives it an almost Tron sort of blue vibe, Venus, which is like a sepia tint, quite a few others that we won't go through all of them. But you can see how you can combine all of these tools and the design of your city to create pretty much whatever you want. There's also a camera movement tool, so you can set your position A wherever you want. So, let's see if we can find something interesting. Let's say we set our position A here, and we'll set it for, say, 10 seconds. And come right in. Ooh. Set our position B here and see what that looks like. So you can get some nice pan, zoom, different effects by using those camera positions. Then you've got your standard take a screenshot. So guys, I think that about wraps up our first look at this game. For me, it's great. It's very chill, it's very relaxed. Ambient music's great. There's no pressure, nothing to worry about or think about unless you want to. You can just come in here and create something like this in very little time and just chill out. Alright guys, well I'll leave all the details of the game below. It's only just been released, so I'm sure that the developer will have more things that they want to add to it. But remember, it is a solo dev, so the pace of development will reflect that. But I mean, so far it's looking great, and I look forward to seeing what happens in the future. So, that being said, I'm Byron. This has been Byron Bytes. Thank you for tuning in, and if you like what you saw, please drop a like and subscribe. Cheers.